Hello everybody and welcome. I'm Noah2. Thank you for watching this video. I'll be going over 4 different deck archetypes through 4 different videos. Sort of the generalization of, hey, what are you going to play for our team composition? I can be support, or I can do this or do that, right? Just very simple keywords that we're all very used to hearing. That you can just say, and somebody goes, great, you're support. Great, you're DPS, you do your thing. So, with that in mind, these decks are built around the idea that you'd be playing with 3 other human beings. These are not designed around playing with bots or being necessarily a solo clutch thing. These decks are really more about you fulfilling a particular role, though still having some other skill sets that are still quite nice to have. I'm a big fan of diversifying your tools in your deck here, not just having 15 cards that say healing or support, right? Because if you understand what I mean. I've said it all before. Why be a tool? I mean, don't be a tool. Why be a hammer when you can be a Swiss Army knife sort of thing, right? You can do a little bit of everything and still have a primary purpose here. So our support deck. We have some other tools here, but our primary focus is being that medic, that support. Share the Wealth, standard economy card. Everyone should have Share the Wealth in your team composition. All 4 players, it should not be overlooked. Have it. Support Scavenger, another economy card here. Now we're the support, so it's sort of in theme. We have support Scavenger, but in theory, in a team composition, anyone on your team can have the Scavenger cards. It doesn't really matter. But I think being the support character, let's focus in on the economy, making sure that we have the resources necessary to do our thing. And then on your mark. Again, I think this is another support card. I do like having all 4 players run on your mark. It's kind of overkill, but it's just like so much ammo and it's so much fun just to be able to shoot recklessly and not have no worries. I've seen some of you out there, guys. I've seen some of you mag dump your M4 into 3 zombies before you have to reload, and you could have 2-tapped those zombies in the head easily. Anyways, I digress. I'm not bitter. Right, so these first 3 cards sort of just team economy, on your mark for the extra ammo and the support of it all, and then needs of the many. The foundation for any support deck, really, I think, or just the foundation for so many support wombo combos for the most part, right? With no hope mode having no extra lives, and no extra opportunities for players to respawn. Having needs of the many is really, really nice for those middle of the fight, oh crap, someone's gone down. But at least they're down and they're still technically in the fight and still helping. Next is Medical Professional. Sort of the, I don't know, insert your famous duo here. But these 2 cards I think are pretty much almost must-haves for every single support deck. The ability to sort of have a life economy cycling over and over again. The players can sort of continuously go down and be picked back up over the course of a mission, because you don't want somebody out for the count for the last half of the mission. You have to do it with just 3 people. The game gets much harder if there's literally 1/4 of your team or half of your team is no longer with you. The Medical Professional will just give you that ability to extend it for your teammates' lives for longer. In general, though, the funny thing about being a support is that you are more useless. You become more and more useless the better your team is. And that's sort of how all of that's a negative way to put it. Support cards lose their value. That's right. You're not useless. You're great and you're powerful and believe in yourself. Support cards become less valuable. The better your team is. Support cards are less valuable the more skilled your team is. The less mistakes, the more skilled your team is, the less mistakes they end up making, which means the less opportunities for you to patch up their boo-boos. That's just the nature of it all, for the most part, right? But we're there when necessary. So with that sort of in mind, we're not going to fully commit to just having all support cards because, again, unless somebody's getting hurt, you don't end up getting value out of it. So let's have some other tools that allow us to do that stuff, right? But this is all about big heals, right? Sort of synergizing with Medical Professional. Poultice, EMT Bag, turns your basic medkits into 95 HP heals. huge mega heals, and that gets obviously even stronger as your medkits level up because EMT bag will increase in value along with your medical accessories as well, like blue medkits, purple medkits. Huge heals, huge heals, approaching like 200 points of HP per medkit, restoring a life, restoring trauma. It's awesome. But for our splash damage, for our little stuff, right, for our constant sort of ebb and flow of health and things like that, amped up. Very, very, very cool. Now, important to note, amped up does not synergize with well rested and fit as a fiddle. Like, amped up is not going to translate into extra health. Amped up in general, though, is just a horde has been triggered, everyone get a bandage. You get a bandage, you get a bandage, right? I think amped up is just a really nice, really convenient, and simple way to sort of just keep the team constantly topped off. For the most part, your team will be going into most of their horde events at full health for the most part because of amped up. Amped up still gives a crap ton of health. It's significantly nerfed compared to what it was before, I think. But actually having it heal health is quite nice. It's basically a bandage, right? Like amped up now looks way better than Inspiring Sacrifice, right? Somebody has to go down in order for Inspiring Sacrifice to trigger. And how many times can your team sustain something like that, right? Amped up, though, how many times is a horde triggered per mission? I mean, depends on the mission, but with every single nest having at least 5 nodes in it, that's 100 HP per player because of amped up. Inspiring Sacrifice, not nearly the same. So amped up is actually, I think, sort of replaced Inspiring Sacrifice in a funny way. Simply because it does the same thing, but it triggers more often. And somebody doesn't need to die for it to happen, right? Anyways, then we get Fit as a Fiddle and Well Rested. Fit as a Fiddle and Well Rested will pretty much help ensure that our big heals will never go to waste. In addition to that, we can pretty much pick whatever we want up, a bandage, and pop it onto somebody and give them temporary health off of it. So with our Support Scavenger, nothing is left behind. Everyone should have full pockets if you have the ability to. And anything that's excess, you just pick it up, slap it onto somebody, give them the extra temporary health, and you send them on their way. So big heals, lots of extra healing and things like that. Super cool. Solid, solid, solid support. We don't need more support cards, though. We do a thing really, really well. We got our support stuff squared away. What else can we do, though? How else can we help the team? Grenades. Flashbangs, pipe bombs, whatever. If they need you to carry something, you'll have the pockets for it. You can be the flashbang character. You can, hell, if you got really good grenades, you can still be a grenade character. You can just drop grenades on the ground for your teammates to pick them up, right? If you have a grenadier character on your team. So having the extra pockets, universally good, super solid foundation, right? Solid grenade foundation, money, copper, and grenades, and you're good to go. This is already the strongest deck in the game. Next, though, we have sort of just some key cards here. Admin Reload and Run Like Hell. Admin Reload is sort of this foundation where we can build upon it, right? There's really no other cards in the game that does what Admin Reload really does, right? Other than, like, just stacking a bunch of reload speed so that you can sustain your damage, right, over time by having less downtime in between shooting. Admin Reload pretty much does that with one card. Especially because Grenade Pouch is such a standard card to have right now, I think. And also we have Cold Brew Coffee because it's universally good. Plus the use speed is nice for all the stuff we're going to be using. As far as medkits and defibs and etc. We have an extra 50% swap speed just for Admin Reload. Plus all the extra perks we got from those cards, right? So when it comes to having Admin Reload, it does what it does. It's great. And it's the only card that really does that. And let's say, though, right, because No Hope has so many extra cards, what if we wanted to do damage? What if we wanted to have more damage in our deck? Well, there's plenty of cards that we can pick up here that give us extra weak spot damage, or just general damage, right? Extra bullet damage and etc. There's tons of cards that will increase our ability to deal damage, but only one card that allows us to swap weapons and have our holstered gun reload by itself, right? So we have this, like, this foundation card where any extra damage that we can find will sort of be amplified or support Admin Reload and what it's doing. Same with Run Like Hell. There's only 5 cards in the game that give us sprint speed now, which is the critical speed, the critical thing that we're looking for when it comes to running fast. And of those 5 cards, one of them is Berserker. We don't really consider that. We really don't want Berserker for the sprint speed, right? It lasts for 4 seconds. Oh my goodness. But we have Run Like Hell, which I think is the best of the sprint speed cards. I think it's better than Mad Dash. The sprint efficiency loss is quite painful. Pretty much it's like imagine your sprint bar being 40% smaller. That's essentially what this is, roughly. Right? That's essentially what it is. So I think Run Like Hell is the best card that can allow us to reposition comfortably, be able to keep pace or just slightly stay away from blitzing zombies and things like that. But if we get any amount of extra stamina, which there's way more of than there is sprint speed, then Run Like Hell will get even better if we find those other cards which are more abundant. And then Cold Brew Coffee, super solid card, rounded out. Always going to get value out of this card, and it's going to make admin reload even better. Make your use speed on your medkits really nice. Solid deck. Alright, good. So we got economy. We got the big heals support deck with amped up. Right, fit as a fill, well rested to support our team with the extra temporary health. But then we get the grenades, we get the admin reload, the movement speed, a little bit of cold brew coffee because everyone needs a little bit of coffee in their life, right? And you're solid, you're good to go. This is a support deck that has other tools that allow you to do other things. You're not just a bandage factory. Play this deck with Doc, play it with Mom, play it with whoever. I would say, obviously you understand which characters are better as far as mid-maxing the nuances of a support healer deck, right? But for the most part, this deck was not made in mind in particular with a particular character in mind. That's what I wanted to say. And this deck will work rather comfortably in all 4 of the acts. Maybe not for Act 4. Probably for Act 4, we'd probably want some extra damage in it or something like that, but don't worry about the little details. This deck will work on all 4 of the acts, believe me. That's all I got. Any comments, any questions? Let me know in the comments. I appreciate it. And I will see you in the future.